Welcome to Down South Football Podcast Live, man. We come to y'all on the first day of the early signing period, just talking more about the impact of what happened today and how we have helped be a part of that, and also what it really means for the culture and everything going forward. We're getting to more of the total signing day tomorrow with John Garcia Jr. But this day has been a day that is will not be forgotten. We already said December 15th, 2021 is one of those days where people woke up shocked, or like in some cases didn't go to bed at all because the phone wouldn't stop buzzing all day, all night long, man. But definitely want to sit down and talk about this, guys, but see how everybody is. Mr. Chauncey Tuck, how you doing, sir?
I feel lovely, man. Just out here working and coming live from Coosa County.
So down in the Coosa by the river.
Well, I mean, we're in Coosa County. We ain't got no but rivers and lakes and stuff. So I'm the nearest lake nearest you. That's how I am in Coosa County.
Something is wrong. I swear. We got Mr. DL Gordon 205, David Gardner. How you doing,
That's
man?
Dave's fault, man.
Hey, man, first of all, man.
One of them days, ain't it?
Hey, man, after the day, I had to pull the hookah out, man, and I'll make sure I be real respectful and make sure I use the mute button when it should be used. But, hey, man, what a day. I mean, December 15th, 2021 is the day that the college football landscape changed forever. And I'm going to write that in stone. That's my thought for the evening.
Yes, sir. We about to get into it. But we got to introduce Mr. 35 names over here. We got Mr. I am DJ Double Mr. I can't take nothing from that. Mr. Lee Corso. He's no longer junior. He's just Mr. Lee Corso.
Lee Corso. Yeah.
Mr. Whatever. He got a shirt for everything.
I got one more. Mr. 86.
You know, we not.
Anyway, we're not. They don't know about.
They don't know what you're talking about right
now. That's all right. They gonna know what 86.
They don't know what you're talking about.
Talk about like in a restaurant 86.
No, Dave know what 86 means.
You know what? I'm not going there right now because you're not going to take this from me. But I do want to say, like, seriously.
Yeah.
As this day unfolded, man, like, for real, like, if y'all know anything about people who do this stuff, National Signing Day, man, early signing day, what day you want to call it, like, it's one of those days where you don't put your phone down the night before, the days before. And when you hear about certain stuff, you hear 6,000 rumors. You know what I'm saying? You get tweeted and texted 6,000 rumors. All these things, man. But it's very, very crazy when certain people say certain things and then all of a sudden it happens. But today was one of those days like, okay, we've had a crazy college football season. Something crazy today is about to happen. Something's about to happen. And I'm not going to call this crazy, man, but this is a historic moment. We're about to discuss Travis Hunter and his recruitment and him and his NIL deals, as everybody wants to talk about, which is not the only reason that he's going, but it has a major factor. But I want to give a shout out to all four of these people on this show, man, and all y'all listeners, because
I have to interject. I apologize for.
Go ahead, yes, sir. Go ahead, take your time. You got it. Go ahead.
Brooks just hit me up.
Okay.
And said that he's up and he's listening to us. And if we want to have him on, we can bring him in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know how to send him the link and stuff?
I can send him the link from my email, same link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called forwarding. So that's all you have to do.
I'm gonna copy the link. And because you from Coosa County, I'm really not gonna get mad at that statement. I can copy and paste.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. But I just wanted to, just want to say that because I mean you got Coosa County over there, and
hold on. Let me get this right.
See, if he had went to JO,
you know what? It is some haterism among the ranks.
Kind of a quick thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
It's some haterism among the ranks, and we see that. I don't understand why Tuck is off. This is normally my spot. Tuck don't like that spot because it normally covers his head because his head is so big he can't fit it. But because he's in Cooper County where they don't really have electricity, he fits in tonight, guys. So I mean that's all I'm saying.
Renard, bring us back, Renard.
I'm going back
bring
on,
us back,
on me. It's me, my cup, and my hookah.
Bring us back, Renard. Bring us back. Bring us back. No.
Anyway, that's what I mean. We fine. That's what made this good. This will make this good. But
keep smoking.
Speaking of making it better,
that boy said it's called 40.
But back to what we were talking about. We were talking about the HBCU, the first HBCU combine. We know Dion put that one together before COVID, and we had people that was supposed to be a part of it, and then it got canceled. However, when they got canceled, we had some other guys. Shout out to Keon Johnson and all of them who helped put it together, man. We was actually blessed to be at the first HBCU combine. Now, it wasn't to the same level the one that Dion was going to have, but I just want to say that we're blessed to have covered that event and to see where it gone now from that HBCU combine, the smaller one, and to see where it's grown. And there's another one that's coming up, man. This to me is a special moment to see just this little progression right here. But let's bring some other people in, man. Let's bring somebody else, see what we got. We got somebody, a great friend of the show. He's had a long day also.
What it do, bro?
What up, bro? What's happening?
Boys?
What's up, man?
Will look like he look like he is in a 95.9.
No, that's called money, sir.
That's called money.
Hey, y'all tripping? I see Mr. Gardner back there with the same Home Depot backdrop. So don't be playing me. I see him right now. And look, he got an XLR microphone too. Y'all playing. Y'all act like y'all ain't flush with cash too. Stop playing with me.
Look, Brooks, you got to recognize he has a mic. He told us all last week. He said, "I have a mic now."
I got a mic. Wait till you
I
see
got a
my
mic.
mic.
Hey, I'll get a T-shirt made that said "I got a doggone mic."
Hey, don't.
He got a webcam too.
All I'm saying is, don't tell the IRS. But this new mic showed up at the end of the fiscal year. That's all I'm saying.
That's all we got to know.
That's all you got to say. That's it. Don't say nothing.
But
Say less.
gentlemen, I've heard 1,000 opinions today about what went down. I came here. I saw you four gentlemen specifically speaking about this topic. HBCU number one player in the country going to a historically black college. I see four of the smartest and loudest and trustworthy black male voices that I listen to.
Right.
So, gentlemen, I want to know, what does this mean? Where are we at? I see a lot of money being thrown a young black man's way to play football, to play college football at a historically black college. What does this mean? Tell me where we are.
Any one of y'all go first. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, well, in my opinion, it's going to start a trickle down effect. We just needed that one. That one had to make that decision. Once that one made that decision, it's going to open. Even I'll say, coming to late signing day, we're probably going to have some people be surprised that some more people will sign with HBCUs.
So you do think this trickles down to the Alcorn States, to the Florida A&Ms, to the Morehouses, D2? You think it goes all the way down the ladder?
Of course, because for one, you're getting into, like, one thing that broke Twitter was this commitment to Dion, or Travis to commit to Dion. It was Dion, but let's talk fashion. Let's talk clothing. Florida A&M has a LeBron deal. Kids want to wear LeBron. Now that's not that. It might be big for some people to be like, "Oh, I want to wear some LeBron stuff too." That's the only LeBron deal in the country that in football. You can't beat that, and it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be some surprises. Like he said, to Alcorn State, Alabama A&M just picked up a guy that played in Miami 2 years ago.
Jaron Williams.
Yeah, Alabama A&M won. Yeah, go ahead. Alabama A&M won the SWAT last year, so it's going to happen.
Hey, this is what I want to say, Brooks. Here's what Renard and I was talking prior to the show, and he had his theory on it, and I had a different theory that it's going to work from the inside out. I think that what we're gonna experience is that kids are going. We're not going. It's no way in the world we get all the high profile kids, but high profile kids are going to start to trickle into the HBCU. Think about it. Renard brought it to my attention. ESPN ain't the deal with the SWAC, right? Am I right?
Right.
The media rights are SWAC and some with the MEAC before, like about a year and a half.
Right. So these high profile companies, they're always.
And I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Gardner, but are we talking ESPN3 rights, or are we talking they're gonna put them on prime time?
I think that too.
They've been buying up Division II rights on ESPN3. So is this a clarification? They're putting HBCU games on prime time.
Well,
it's not right. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, here's what I'm saying is that prior to when I graduated from Alabama A&M University in 2002, we were nowhere near ESPN. So we can get to a 3 or 4 or 6 or 16 or whatever it may be is a step in the right direction. So if we're getting this, it may not be prime time right now, but you got to think about these big companies are thinking 5 to 8 to 10 years ahead of to the normal citizens. They're thinking ahead of us. We can't see it right now, but they're thinking that. So to your question, is this going to be a trend? I don't know if that was your question, but something to your effect. Is it going to be a trend? I think it will be. I think we'll trickle in a one big time recruit every so often, but at the same time, I think that this December 15th was a changing of the college football arena. I will say that 3 things: COVID, transfer portal, and Travis Hunter has changed college football forever.
And I think to your point, when you speak of name, image, and likeness, this is what it was for. And I know a lot of people say, "What do you mean what this was for?" This was when you wanted to do the name, image, and likeness. It was supposed to kind of level the playing field. And we know it's not going to always be completely level, but it does give a Jackson State an opportunity to come up and hey, if they do whatever they do, it gives them a chance to bring in someone like this.
I don't know who tweeted it today, but I saw a tweet that basically said Jackson State just out recruited a program with $150 million football budget with an $8 million football budget. And it's all because of name, image, and likeness. It's all because of what companies like Barstool Sports and apparently a casino company and states' rights with name, image, and likeness, like what they're allowing in their codes. That's very, very important in this discussion.
And one thing too, Brooks, I don't want people to lose focus of. I think it's a movement. And when you have a social movement, anything is possible.
Social movement. The next portion of this discussion is how does the momentum continue in this discussion? How is it? But more importantly, I understand Jackson State's going to get high quality football players. Right. They are 11-1 right now. Their only loss is to Louisiana Monroe, a mid-major football program. How does this expand? How does this not rely on Dion being Dion, primetime being primetime? Because guess what? Eddie George ain't getting this kind of NIL money right now. Hugh Jackson is not getting this kind of NIL money. Alcorn State went like viral and newsworthy for their athletic trainer having to cover 4 or 5 different sports in the HBCU model. And that's an Alcorn State team that wins national titles.
I can speak to that. I can speak to that. It spreads because think about it. A young high school kid that is especially the elite ones, what is their dream? Their dream is to play eventually on Sundays, right? Right. I think when you set the narrative to that I can play on Sundays no matter where I play at, and especially I can play on Sundays if I play in the SWAC, because what you're going to see, Brooks, you're going to see a precedence of HBCU kids. Now, they haven't been drafted before. I think we got to look 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road. You're going to see 3 to 4 to 5 kids getting drafted in that first round. And so now that narrative of I need to go to a Louisiana State, which LSU, or Alabama, or wherever it may be, I need to go there to get drafted. No, I think we know this. We know this, but the kid, the 18-year-old kid that I had to talk off a ledge of he considered not taking a scholarship because it wasn't to where he wanted to go, to now he realizes that the Detroit Lions starting running back at the point now, right now, because of injuries and things like that, he was a 0-star. He went to a 2-year, a Division II school. He got cut from 6'5", 6'7", practice squads, and then now he started.
I don't want to push back at that, but there's 4 or 5 of those examples, and 65% of the league is SEC football players.
Right.
You got a long history of NFL success, and you play here 2 or 3 years. You play it 2 years at Alabama, you're going to be drafted.
You're true.
I think also, hold on one second, Dave. And I think also, to your point, Brooks, is, it's not just about the TV now, because everything is shifting towards these apps, and ESPN is showing more and more and more. You are getting more coverage, even if you are at the HBCUs. And I think that when you see the success of this, on top of what you got going on with the movement of everybody's not sitting at home in front of the TV watching the games, they're watching it on their tablets, they're watching it on their phones, and they're watching it in all these other ways. I think that is helping this move along too. And when you see Travis Hunter do what he did, it's gonna alert some people. Now everybody's not gonna alert everybody.
And I think that Brooks is right now playing devil's advocate, and I appreciate it.
Right.
Here's the thing.
I'm just more concerned that like we want to talk about how today was a good for HBCUs. I think today was good for Travis Hunter. It was good for Deion Sanders. It was good for Jackson State. How does that expand to everyone else? When Deion Sanders complains in his press conference about how HBCU, other teams in his conference can't even afford the names on the back of his jersey. How do we expand? How does the trickle effect actually?
Well, I'm gonna come back to that, because it wasn't that the fact that they couldn't afford it. It was the fact that they didn't do it. Now, with that being said, you also had a quarterback from Miami ink a deal with Alabama A&M. Now, whether he's marginal or whatever you may think about him,
Nicosi, correct?
Right? Yeah, he played. What's his name? Ben?
Jaron. Was it Williams?
I think it's Jaron Williams.
Okay,
he at least started it. I know he started the game at Miami, maybe not.
He did start a couple.
Indian Atlanta kid.
Yeah. And so here's the thing: is that the only problem I have is that HBCU is a by way of. I think that Travis Hunter created a situation that is not a by way of university. What I mean by way of, I'm going to go to a Alabama or a FIU, and by way of, I'm going to end up at a Jackson State. I think that once they see the success and they see these kids getting drafted out of these HBCUs, they will no longer be a by way of. And I think
they drafted high, because they've been getting drafted from them. But if they start going higher,
they've been getting drafted, but it's been 1 and 2. I mean, the kids that been getting drafted out of HBCU, they that guy. So I mean, you know that, but. Yeah. I think that HBCUs right now, with the cultural movement, they have a grand opportunity. I think they're going to seize it. Look at the guys that they're hiring as their head coaches. You have 3 in tech right now that are solid NFL guys. I am very high on it, and until it fails, and it will not fail, because I'm high on this mountain right now, Brooks.
I'm not trying to be negative. I
appreciate that,
because I want this to happen. I do. Right. I think there's value in college football for HBCUs to be on the forefront. Yes. I think there's value in the fact that when Corey Foreman, the #1 player in the nation last year, put an HBCU team in Howard in his Final Four, everyone in the media laughed. We all laughed. They're like, oh, I mean, that's nice. We understand what's going on in the 2020 landscape with everything that was going on in the world. We get it. Now we are at the point where this is happening. So this is a historical moment. I want it to continue. That's what I'm saying. So there needs to be something put in place. There needs to be something to ensure that Travis Hunter is not a one-off. That Travis Hunter didn't go there to make sure that Barstool Sports paid him $1 million. That is not the purpose of what is going on. It needs to be said, and it needs to be talked about, and it also needs to have a plan and an action to make sure it doesn't become a one-off, because everything about it sniffs one-off, gentlemen, because it does to me. It sniffs like one-off. It sniffs like a guy's getting a lot of money to do a reality TV show at an HBCU.
I'm going to. I apologize, guys. I know that I didn't let y'all talk. I apologize. Here's why I don't see it as a one-off, Brooks. Because right, that's true. This is the first time. Listen, this is why I don't see it as a one-off. The Power Five have always had celebrity. I'm gonna say celebrity power coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of Eddie Robinson or Doug Williams, when have the HBCUs have ever had a power coach that can go in your living room and get who they want to get? Now I think that a Deion Sanders, I'm not gonna say evens the player field, and I'm not trying to. And Renard and I, and we've talked about it. I'm not trying to be better than a Power Five, but I want the field. The only thing we want is be equal.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. You got Hugh Jackson at Grambling. Okay, it's going. I mean, come on, really. I mean, you really want to go through his resume? You got Deion Sanders here. Not Eddie, but Eddie George is the only one that may not have that coaching experience, but he has that name. And here's what we have to realize right now: you have a society movement. I'm sorry.
Societal.
Yeah, thank you, Renard. Yeah, you know. So you have a movement right now that is, hey, I can make money and make a social stance at the same time. So why not do it? And do it at Jackson State. I really wish you would do it at Alabama A&M, but that is another story. But do it at Jackson State.
We already talked about what happened with that.
Get your money, get to the league, because one thing about the NFL, Brooks, you know this. They don't give a damn where you come from, as long as you can ball.
What you got,
Noah? A lot, really. But I mean, to go to what Brooks is saying, these are. I mean, I've been in Brooks' Twitter Spaces today. I've been in all kind of Twitter Spaces as far as the phone blowing up and stuff. But I want people to really understand 100% what we're talking about right now, and the question that Brooks is asking, and because it not only is a microcosm of what America is with a lot of racial tones, which is why I think even though we see Brooks is not the same color as us, I think this is why this is a better discussion.
Great conversation.
Because what Brooks is saying the same thing. I was literally just saying.
I'm laughing at the people that only listen to you guys on an auditory medium. They're like only on the podcast. They're like, wait a minute, he's white.
Yeah.
Wait, Brooks is white? No, I didn't know.
But I'm white. Brooks is white. Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because we got to do more. We have to do more inclusion and figure out what we want to do to move forward. I've heard all day long about different people talking about the Travis Hunter situation, and Brooks is right, and everybody's right. Okay, it's great that you're talking about it now, and we've been a part of this, and we've been talking about this for a minute about what we can do. But a lot of people, you got to know not only your history, you got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about with these kids. Put yourself in an 18-year-old body. Okay,
right.
Let's start there first. Let's be a little bit realistic about this. What we're looking for is the opportunity. What they're looking for is the opportunity to say, okay, like Brooks said, they laughed when they had the Howard hat up there last year.
Right.
When we see, I'm not even going to use Jackson State. They didn't got enough pub off of me today. Okay, they ain't got no pub everybody day. I don't care if it's a Grambling. I don't care if it's a whoever hat is up there. Like, they want that opportunity to not just say, push that hat aside. We want to bring it more of an equal playing field. But I think Brooks understands, and most of us on this podcast understand, because we follow college football so closely, that it's going to take more than just this. It's going to take a lot of grinding. Just like we're going to celebrate the day. This is a great day. We're going to put our fist up. What the hell are we going to do tomorrow? What y'all going to do going forward?
I think it starts with TV rights deals. I think that conference, the SWAC needs their own TV rights deal, and that will eventually create a source of income that is equally dispersed amongst the members of the conference. What you can't have is a dispersion of wealth. That's what you have right now. That's why he showed up, and in 2 years, right? Hey, he's a good coach, great recruiter,
Right.
He's staffed correctly. He has figured out how
dip in 2 years.
He's doing a great job, but he can't be the only one. That's the whole portion of that's the whole point of the conversation. So the reason the SEC is so powerful, the reason the Power Five is so powerful, is because they have their own TV rights deal. And the modern age of TV rights now is that you have streaming options, gentlemen. So you need to find a streaming company that believes in your message, that believes that HBCUs need to be on the map in college football. You get that, you can immediately inject income, yearly income, not splash income, not here it is once. We're talking about residual income year over year that will eventually create a stability within the HBCU realm of college football. That is what's needed. And the fact that, but what that's going to require is a whole bunch of collective bargaining and collective agreement among a whole bunch of parties. I'm talking about all across the HBCU landscape. If you want to do it right, get all of the streaming rights under the same umbrella. I'm talking D1AA down to the threes in the NAIA, all of them. Get them all under the same umbrella. And get a streaming rights deal.
I think that you're right on that, but at the same time, I think that we should just start with the SWAC, because here's the thing: the PWIs that don't have streaming rights from top to bottom. Okay, because my son plays at a NAIA school, and if I want to go to the game, I go to the game free. But if I want to,
you start with the most marketable, and you spread out over a 10, 12 year span to everybody.
Exactly. So it's gonna span out. I just don't want it to the message to be sent that you need to start, like this. But
you have to gradually build. You have to gradually build it.
Right.
That's like it took the SEC network. When Roy Kramer put the first SEC championship game in '92, it took him a while to get something else. It took him a while to move it to Atlanta. It took a while for him to start the SEC network when who the last SEC commissioner was. It takes time to build this thing up. Now, is this a good step in the right in a positive way? Yes, but one thing that Brooks did say was residual income. We got to start there, because if we start residual, like it starts off with Jackson State, it needs to be coming down. Everybody needs to get some of the pot and start building the SWAC up.
Ironically enough, you've got your ideal partner in Barstool, and hear me out. I know this is going to sound crazy. Barstool's already experimenting in TV rights deals. They bought up a bowl game this year. Maybe this is their step into streaming, because guys, TV live rights right now are the only valuable aspect of linear television. When I'm talking about linear television, I'm not talking about turn the Netflix on and stream whatever it is that you're watching. I'm talking about live in bed commercial, linear, straight line television, like it's been since television was created. Sports rights are the only thing that are left. And if Barstool wants to get into this, this is their stepping stone. Get the SWAC on a streaming service.
And that's what I said last week. And I said, wait, Barstool has a bowl game? Oh, that's amazing.
Barstool has a bowl game, and Barstool is heavily invested in Deion Sanders.
Very
heavily.
Very heavy.
Another thing, but see, the thing about it is for us for the SWAC and for the MEAC and all these other smaller, HBCU conferences, what they're going to have to do is, I mean, I hate it, but we're going to have to eliminate some of these classics. The thing is, some of these classics, we can play some of them, but we can't play a lot of them. And if we eliminate some of these classics, then there are money makers for those two schools and for the community that they do have them in. But those games are games that's being counted against them. I mean, I think A&M is in they like 3 or 4 classics a year?
No, we only have one classic. So what you have is you have the Magic City Classic, you have the Boombox Classic, which is Jackson State. Now Jackson State does have an out of conference classic with Tennessee State, and I'm sure that maybe you got the Grambling and Southern, but most of our classics are in state or within conference. Here's the issue though, because of our schedule, we can't not send our best team most times to the playoffs, FCS playoffs. Here's the issue. So here's the big thing on the table. do you continue to do your own thing? Because the SWAC has really, because when they came up with the celebration, it used to be a thing called the Heritage Bowl. Okay. And the Heritage Bowl was the SWAC winner champion and versus the MEAC champion. That turns into the Celebration Bowl now. But you would have teams opt out to go to the playoffs. Now the playoffs are pushed up some. The FCS playoffs have been pushed up because they've allowed more teams, so they had to push it up. So here's the big decision on the table. Do you cut an FCS type team out, or a group of 5 team out of your schedule to back it up to where you won't no longer have a Turkey Day Classic? You know what I'm saying? You won't be having that game on Thanksgiving with Tuskegee and Alabama State. So do you cut that to be able to send your best of your best to the FCS? Do you convert to that system? And I think that is a big struggle in the FCS in the HBCU land, because what they've realized is that, I'm not gonna say realize, but what they've come to a conclusion is that, hey, we're not really getting that type of love, so why don't we just do our own thing? But I think what Dion brought to the table was that, hey, bro, we're gonna bring talent in here that's better than what's at North Dakota State, that's better than what's at Jackson State, Tennessee Tech, the guys that are going to these playoffs. But if you keep your system where it is now, you won't see it, because we got our best team, 11-1 team that lost to Louisiana Monroe by less than a touchdown. They playing in the Celebration Bowl, which is great. It's going to bring money, but they're not competing to really push that message through. So where do you go? That's where I'm at.
And I have a question, and it's really about all that together.
Renard, can I cut you off, because I know a lot. If any of my portion of my audience that are ignorant to the HBCU model, no, I'm dead serious.
I know. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Why is it that they're not allowed to play in the playoff of D1AA?
That was
because
David. That would be you.
I'm telling you, people that look like me, sound like me, have lived like me. I don't know the answer to that question. And I cover college football for a living, and I'm ashamed to admit that. But it's the guys.
What happens, Brooks, is that you have games like the Turkey Day Classic that is played on Thanksgiving Day. You know, you have the Bayou Classic that's played like a couple days like one day before Thanksgiving or something to that.
Around the same time, right.
Around the same.
So week before Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah. So what happens is the schedule, the SWAC schedule, doesn't coincide with the FCS.
So it's the SWAC's decision to prioritize these specialty games over a potential to play in the playoffs.
And that's what Dave was going at. Like, we got to alternate.
Ben, let me cut you off 1 second. Because we wasn't getting ranked in those, because they said that our level of competition didn't deserve for us to be ranked in the top, whatever their top was, we didn't qualify. So if you don't qualify for it, we're never going to qualify for it with us playing.
We'll play our own schedule.
We'll play our own.
Right. I'm sorry. You can figure it out later. Maybe.
What I was going to say, we live, we could. Anyway, what I was about to say was,
it's out there now.
but right, you know how we do. I might, and this ain't nothing new. If you are new, then hey, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel or DSLpodcast.com.
Boy.
There you go. You really don't want to. Yeah. We did that, but with those classes and everything, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I was reading and just what I always been told, it was kind of one of those type of things where we had that choice. But when we started saying we want our own championship game, when it came to SWAC and stuff like that, we wasn't going to let any, like you talk about the classes, we wasn't going to let go in those classes and then add our own conference championship games and things of that nature. It was like, okay, well, we're going to continue to do our thing if y'all don't really want to include us.
Right. And that's part that part of that is true, Renard, and I'm gonna let and Tug, you can go after me, but part of that is true, because when you look at the money that's generated from the classics, for let's just say a Turkey Day Classic or definitely a Bayou Classic, you know, that's hard to let go. You know, so
So they make more money off
said
these
we get
classic
paid
games
more
than even the TV rights deals from the playoff games.
Right. So let's just think about this.
You also have to weigh the options and the differentiations between notoriety and playing in playoff games and winning national titles and getting higher recruits and getting more notoriety towards your program.
That's why I'm about to say, because you got to think about a school like Tuskegee University back in the day. Tuskegee had the opportunity, they had to pick one. Either you play in the Pioneer Bowl or you go into the playoffs.
They would have walked the playoffs back in the day.
They would have,
wrong.
Yes, they were wrong, but they depend. The school needed money. They're a private institution, so if they want to go play in the Pioneer Bowl and make a quick $3 million, or just for bragging rights, you want to be?
I didn't realize it was like that. It's like
Right. If it were bragging
that's a moot point there. What are we talking about? Go get the money.
So go get the money. Yeah,
that's what Tuck is saying, is that these schools are so underfunded to where that's why you have classics. You know, Brooks, you've never been to have you been to a black church before?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're Brooks like, don't play me.
Okay.
Don't play me.
But
he's I am in Georgia.
It's not even that. I grew up in locker rooms, bro.
Okay.
Like I played football through college. So, yes. I've been to black churches.
One thing about black churches, they have a pastor anniversary. They're going to have an usher board anniversary. They're going to have a choir anniversary. They're going to have all these special days. And now the point of the special days is really it's celebrating that group, but at the same time, they know that when we have a special day, we're going to get money. You feel me? Because we're underfunded. So the fact that we're underfunded, we have to find another way to generate revenue.
So brilliant hustle,
Dave.
Brilliant hustle.
Hey,
Dave. Speaking of being underfunded people, we need y'all to go like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We continue to be funded and go to DSL.
Please, y'all some real talk tonight.
You cut me off doing my promo.
That's a businessman right there.
DSLpodcast.com, please. And please go like and subscribe. We got a road to 1K. Also, the Bowl Mania contest will start soon. Please look out for that promotion coming also. So you want to win some money, come holler at us. I'm sorry, Dave. You said that I had to hop on that.
Hey, man, listen. Brooks, I can speak to when you're underfunded, you find ways to snake your way through. So classics are built because think of what PWI has a classic. They have homecoming, but they don't have a classic. They have a rivalry game. They don't have a classic. So you are subject to being able to kind of snake your way through a big game. Okay, Alabama A&M is a big rival with Alabama State, so we're going to make this a classic. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. You do this stuff because you're underfunded. So do I go to the playoffs or do I take the classic money?
Let me ask you this. Is there no way for when teams like Jackson State this year are obviously qualified to go make a playoff run, can they not go take that playoff run and then have another team take their place in these classic games and then disperse the money evenly amongst the rest of the conference?
Very great.
Why is that not the case?
That is a great question. The problem is that our schedule is built through that time.
Well, then the schedule needs to move.
Right, but do you move it?
And we saw during COVID, schedules can be altered.
But do you move that schedule? Do you move Bayou Classic from being a Thanksgiving weekend game? Do you move Turkey Gate from being a Thanksgiving weekend game? Do you move that for one team to possibly be one and out?
Dave, I want to add.
My question is, why do you need to move it when you can just replace the team that's going to the playoff game? Have both games
because it won't have the same effect,
same significance.
Because when you talk about the Bayou Classic, it's only Southern, and
I can't play a Bayou Classic.
This is one of those things I don't get.
Let's I
think we'll cross that bridge.
Let's get right here. Like let's talk about Steven's comment. Steven said, let's clear that up. The MEAC and SWAC gave up their automatic bid because this is what I kind of was referring to. bid because we're getting bad seeding. They weren't sending teams like powerhouse JSU teams in the 80s, way the boys and things like that. And I'll put it like this: when it comes to like the Bayou Classic, like when I tell you, bro, like that Superdome is normally packed. It's just an impact on everything when it comes to that part of the culture. And once again, like you said, that part is different. That's where the struggle comes in. This is a conversation that had with several people before about the struggle of why. Like some people didn't understand why FAMU went to the playoffs this year and they didn't win their division or was even a representative, and why they was in the playoffs and Jackson State wasn't. It's exactly about this schedule because we're playing what the same weekend. We're playing a SWAC championship game the same weekend as the first round of the FCS playoff. But I think what Brooks is saying is why is that still there? Right. We talked about it, I think, over the last 5 to 10 years, especially like since Deion came in and a lot of other stuff. I mean, there's always been great football there, great coaches there, and things like that. But the possibility of saying, hey, we about to tangle with these big boys over here. Now we're looking at moving towards a possible national championship and doing all those things. So we said it before, the structure got to be changed to move forward.
And to rebuttal what you're saying, think about it. When you're being ranked, you're going to be ranked off your wins and who you beat, right? So if who I beat is being, if this team that I beat is being devalued, okay, you follow me now. I'm just playing. The only thing I can play is what's in my conference because I'm not at this time. I'm not beating anything outside of my conference. I'm not beating no Group of 5 team. I'm not beating none of that shit. I'm just beating. I'm undefeated in my conference, but my conference is looked at,
and that's part of the problem.
They're being devalued. How can I get in the top? What is it? 25, 16, whatever the top is in the FCS. How can I get there? And then when I get there, I'm the last seed. That means I got to play the best team. Now, if I'm really the best team, then me playing the best team is going to work itself out. But think about it. Why are we underrepresented in these playoffs? And so we go through the history of that, and we like, well, the hell with it. We create our own bowl game, and hell, we make more money than we would have gotten than doing a 1 and out in a playoff on somebody else's campus, and they're not gonna even bring 10,000 fans.
But I guess at some point it's like, what do we value more? And I think that's the collective thing that we at some point got to figure out. What do we value more? Do we value the exposure in the championship, or do we value the bread? And I think that's what Steven said earlier, like they're never going to move the classic. That goes to Brooks's point. If they're never going to move it, then how can we say we want to advance?
What we value, and I'm speaking from an HBCU, right. What we value is equality. Okay. Equal. Our locker room should look like North Alabama locker room. Okay. Our locker room should look like South Alabama locker room. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some alumni, some stuff going on there. But I'm saying the funding of these schools and what's going into these programs, and that's a burden on the HBCU alumni back. It should look the same. When I bring my kid to visit this college, they should be like, okay, well, Alabama A&M looks like Tennessee Tech. It shouldn't really be a big gap. I'm not saying it is. I'm just using that as an example, but that's where we are. Go ahead.
Seeing comments like this from Steve Campbell make me realize I don't know a damn thing about TV rights deals on the D1AA level. He says JSU is going to make at least $2 million for hosting the SWAC championship and another $1 million for the play in the Celebration Bowl compared to a team like James Madison, who's notorious for being in the playoff run. Says they lose over $500,000 on their playoff runs. Right. What in that?
James Madison is good every year.
Who gives a y'all ain't playing for championships? Y'all playing for bread, and the bread is important. So keep playing for the damn bread.
And that's
the exposure. Like, who gives a damn about championships? You still get a ring. Kids don't care about that. They care about exposure.
Man,
Who is
right.
watching you?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen,
Yes, sir.
I have not watched an HBCU game in years. Not since I
And-
played against Morehouse in college. That is a problem. They are not on my normal television programming. That might be changing soon, but I think the move again is to privatize that. Why would you give that to anyone else?
And just make it your own.
Do not do that.
Make it your own.
Privatize it. Take this. You've got 12 member schools. You have 12 teams in the SWAC. If the damn Longhorn Network can get their own network, I'm pretty sure the SWAC can. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You have enough pull and you have enough audience to do so. You make $2 million at your conference championship game, gentlemen.
Yes.
Create your own television network.
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead. Here's my only rebuttal is that the kids these days, what have they been fed? They've been fed Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, these other schools, but
not no more. Not no more. They're being fed Twitter followers, Instagram followers, and
that's what's
NIL
changing.
money. That is
NIL.
That is
NIL money is changing.
And that's why Coach Prime is
listened.
needed in the HBCU land because he's the only one that can bring that type. Nobody else has. Eddie George don't have the weight that Coach Prime got.
I listened to a guy that goes around Power 5 programs and speaks about marketing things like this to the Elite 11 guys. He spoke to them at the quarterback summit, and he told them, he said, your value is followers. That is it. It is impressions. That is it.
Yep.
And do something that is sustainable that you can show kids that say, when you come here, your impression rate, your value, your modern internet value, your 2022 value increases drastically coming here. It doesn't matter if you go to Alabama, your value increases drastically. And eventually, if we continue this and the ball keeps rolling, your NFL value will continue drastically.
Absolutely.
Speaking of value and value going up, Brooks,
Hit it.
We brought you on, sir, and we didn't get to do no introduction. We got all these people commenting saying, who's this guy? I'm like, first of all, y'all should have known if y'all been watching the show who Brooks is. But I know some of y'all are new. We gained a lot of followers on YouTube. Appreciate that, Brooks. Please, sir, let the people know who you are. I call him Mr. Georgia Bulldog, but I'm gonna let him say that. I'm gonna let him say what he got.
So I'm Brooks Austin. I'm affiliated with Sports Illustrated. I cover the University of Georgia. The reason I know the guys with the Down South Football Podcast is because I'm also affiliated with SI All-American and another good folk named John Garcia, who is, I believe, one of two people of color that carry his position and title in the industry. That is an issue as well.
We'll see.
Don't mean to get on my high horse. Shout out to John Garcia. That's how I know these gentlemen, and I cover recruiting as well over at SI All-American. So yeah, you can check me out at Brooks Austin SI on Twitter. I genuinely respect the opinions of you guys.
Yes.
And I know we've been trying to get me on for a long time, and I've been tied up and booked. So when I saw you guys on,
you're in demand, bro.
You in demand,
bro.
Especially after what's been going on.
Also, hold on. Brooks didn't say enough. Look, man, if you really like ball, I'm talking about you really like ball. You want it broken down. You want the film room, bro. Brooks got his own Patreon, bro. It's only $10 a month, man. I'm talking about you will learn every single time.
Renard, do you know what I did today free for the folk on YouTube? You know what I did today? I spent almost 4 hours in my studio, okay, hosting a live, like I call it a supercast. Just me right here in the studio, flipping back and forth. You know, I got multiple camera angles over here. You see, I can be sitting here and do some other stuff. Okay, so I walked over there and I was hitting the film breakdown. I walked back over here and I'm hitting the hot takes. You feel me? So it was like that,
right?
And it ain't nothing. It's just a little switcher over here. But nonetheless, I do run a Patreon service account, and that's what he's talking about. But it's mainly service for Georgia fans. But if you subscribe to me over on YouTube and you happen to be a Bama fan, or you happen to be a Tennessee fan, or whatever you're a fan of, eventually my content will merge with whatever fan base you have if you're an SEC football fan. And I promise you, and I'm not here to talk my talk, but I promise you, you will learn something about your football team that you've never learned before, because the film don't lie. And these gentlemen also know that. That's why I'm on here as well. They're football guys. Football is in their name. They are football guys. I'm a football guy, and I'm also a film guy. So, yeah, you can holler at me on Twitter at Brooks Austin SI. I appreciate you guys, man, for real.
Yeah, and Brooks, Brooks, I mean, you haven't been here in a long time. We got to understand that you can tell being why every game matters and all that stuff. So,
man, let's not go back. Let's not look. Brooks, look. Small. It won't even say 2 minutes, Brooks.
Guys, you know. Hey, look, here's the deal. It's 10:35. I'm up till 2:00. If you guys want to talk about anything right now, if you want to rehash SEC championship game, I'll dump takes for another 30 minutes. I don't give a damn. It's your show and your audience. You let me know.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. This is what happened after the Notre Dame game. FSU. FSU
be right.
It's gonna be short. Look, after the Notre Dame game, it was a close game against Notre Dame, whatever, in the overtime, blah blah blah. So my thing was, you knew we had Jackson State coming up, and I kept telling the fellas, I said, Jacksonville State. I kept telling the fellas, I said, look, no matter what we do in this game, whether we win or we lose, nobody's gonna give us credit. I'm worrying about Wake Forest. So it turned into this whole thing like you can't overlook an opponent, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's not that we're overlooking the opponent.
Look at Brooks.
I said, not that we're overlooking the opponent. I said, it doesn't matter if we win the game. I said, if we blow them out, they're going to say, hey, you should have blown them out. It was Jacksonville. Now, granted, I in no shape or fashion thought we was going to lose the damn game. And as bad as we played, we literally still almost won the game up until the last 10 seconds.
Bruh,
so the whole thing was, I was like, I can't take nothing from it because I was like, we worried about Wake Forest.
Pardon my language. Them motherfuckers were 5 and 6 in D1AA football. 5 and 6.
I know.
The hell you talking about?
I'm just like, come on, man.
No, it's over. At that point, it's over. It's done.
That's it. That's
done.
It.
Like, done. I was just like,
what the way you lost, man.
That's not what I was saying. Like, it was like in dramatic.
You going man coverage with like 14 seconds left in the game, no timeout.
Why?
And you worried about giving up a first down? Like,
why? Brooks, I don't think nobody on this show can understand. Even the most video football fan can understand that logic.
Can I tell you something?
Shoot it.
Oh, I know what this is pretty good.
I don't know if I should reveal it. I'm gonna reveal it. I saw Mike Norvell on the sidelines at Lee County the night before y'all lost that football game too. I talked to him, told him I love what y'all. It was right after Notre Dame. I was like, "Hey, man,
right? Everybody was straight."
I said, Coach, I like the decision you made with Milton midway through the fourth quarter, end of the game. That was an excellent example of not just coaching decisions but people management. I gave him an attaboy,
right?
And then Jacksonville State, bro.
Look,
let me.
Everybody in the world know that was like.
Hold on. Okay, Ben, you didn't had your couple of minutes to get.
That's where it came.
We bring this back into this discussion. Dave, come on back. Come on back. Well, he back. I mean, he might be doing something else. But seriously, like, let's just bring this back in. When this he's somewhat right.
I'm back.
He's somewhat right, but I'm going to repost the clip for everybody that's like and subscribe on YouTube. Go repost the clip. So I'm gonna let y'all judge what y'all talking about. But we had a question, Brooks, while we got you on here. We know your schedule gonna get more and more busy. So this guy has a question about, he said, what have you learned about Michigan in the past week?
So I've been spending probably an hour and a half a day really breaking down Alabama and Georgia from the SEC championship game for the last 2 weeks. But to be honest with you, I know enough about the style of Michigan. So I think there's two types of scouting, and 90%, 95% of the people that do my job, they do what I call box score scouting, or they just look at the overall statistical view of the football team. They don't really break them down on a film view. They might watch a couple TV copies. It's box score scouting. If you box score scout Michigan, which I always do from afar if I don't have enough time to immediately check them out, when I have time like this, I got a couple weeks still. When you box score scout them, dude, they're the University of Georgia offensive defensively for the last 4.5 years. They're 63% run, 37% pass, 2,400 yards passing, rushing for over 3,000 yards. Like, they are grinded out, win the line of scrimmage, get after the Q. Like, They're the same team. They're like Spider-Man meme. But the problem is when you do that against Kirby Smart, you lose. I've learned that. So those two things. If you think you can just show up, run the ball, and play defense and get out against Georgia, you don't win. You got to score. You got to make them throw it 50 times a game. They have to be worried about you scoring. And I don't know if Michigan's going to be able to do that to Georgia. I've learned that for sure.
That's a good answer to the question. Okay. We talked about HBCU and everything, HBCU culture and what we're going to be doing going forward. You've been on with us for about 45 minutes. Has your perspective changed about what we've been talking about, or what you have known, or what you think you might have, what you think you might have known compared to now?
I honestly think I've learned a lot about like the way in which football in the HBCU realm works in terms of the SWAC. It seemed like I didn't realize they were basically their own world, and I think that primarily is an issue. I feel like and I don't mean to say you guys, but I feel like the culture's been its own world the whole time. That's part of the issue. So I think a TV rights deal, and I know I keep hammering this point, but I think that's how when we talk about exposure, because with the way the income structure is situated with the HBCU, that's what I've learned tonight. With the way the structure is worked financially, I don't see you guys going outside of your own world, because financially it stays there for you to stay within the SWAC, to stay in these what are they called again? I'm sorry. The special games,
the classic. Come on, hey Ben,
special game.
I mean not Ben, but Brooks.
Right.
Classic,
Jesus,
classic.
Go ahead. The classics. But anyways, I think figuring out a way to privatize some income based off your own world that will bring your world to the rest of the nation. That is what is key here. We're talking about exposure of bringing what it is that is great about HBCU football to the masses. And in order to do that, I think you have to privatize your own TV streaming deal.
Definitely. I will be remiss if we said this. We said we were gonna keep this at 30 minutes, but this discussion has been great. Remiss if I didn't mention another great recruiting class still ongoing, of course, for Georgia. And how do you feel about the class today that you signed so far?
I think it's well-rounded, and I think it says a lot about where I think Georgia's going moving forward with the way we are, where we are in college football, in terms of where we're talking about tonight, name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal. I think what Georgia has realized, if you go through the class tonight, if you look at it, it's a lot of high-character football players and a lot of in-state prospects. A lot of guys that aren't necessarily worried about, do I get playing time early and immediately checking for the portal, and a lot of guys that are near home anyways. Because when you see these portal entries, guys, where do they go? They go to somewhere that's the staff is familiar, or they go home. So what Georgia's doing is cutting out the middleman. They're starting at home. So if you want to leave, you're going to have to leave for opportunity. And if you're leaving for opportunity, that's fine. We can swallow that pill. We can swallow a guy that's on the 2 deep, that's second or third on the depth chart, leaving after 2 years. We can swallow that pill. What we can't do is having the kid that's from California, that's a 5-star, that we invested 3 years of recruiting and passed up on multiple in-state guys for, leaving after 6 months because he's homesick or you didn't make him happy. That can't happen moving forward for Georgia.
And see, to identify that is key, because like you said, that is so true. When you look at that and you break it down, it's so many of these kids, when they jump in the portal, that is the first thing they do. They go to the school that's closer to home, that's major, that they can get in.
Or the staff that promised them the world and they turned down. The girl that was promising everything and you gave it up for the high school.
Bad prom date.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I got a question though. I got a question for you, Brooks. Quick question. Who would you think would be the top FCS program that we're talking about attendance to the game? Who do you think that may have the best attendance?
It's all the HBCUs. Y'all pack out every game.
Okay. So I would say this: Montana is number one. Okay, they were number one. They had 24,000. Number 2 was Jackson State. Okay. Now you're gonna go down a little bit. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces down from that was Florida A&M, and you have Southern. And Southern University. And I say that to say this, it is a narrative out there that HBCUs are undersupported as far as fans coming out to the game. And some of that may be true because when you compare them to a LSU, Georgia, Alabama, then hell, there's a lot of folks that, but what I'm saying is that, and I know we're ending the show, but I want to say this, that I just want an even playing ground. And I want us to realize that the playing ground for us to be even with FCS, because there's our level, is not far off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. When I look at this list and I say that a Montana has their average home attendance was 24,055 people, and Jackson State was 21,040 people. That is not that big of gap at all. We're talking what, 3,500 people?
Yeah, 4,000 people. Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
So it's a narrative out there, Brooks, that is not true. Go ahead.
I believe the minimum requirement to be an FBS football team is a minimum 25,000 average home attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think a boost in awareness about what is going on will help match that. Here's the key. It's the crux of the conversation tonight, gentlemen. It cannot be just Jackson State.
Right.
It cannot be.
And we can leave it right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the whole thing. Okay.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of pressure on Travis Hunter to make sure this happens. And that I hope someone has explained that to the young man. And I think he's up to it. But I'm just telling you, it can't be a year in and then he's headed to Florida State or Georgia or whatever.
But I'm saying that to you, Brooks. The thing about that is, though, although he's gonna have that pressure, the pressure of him being the next Deion at FSU, because he was supposed to be he was supposed to be the savior. Like they literally built this kid up to be the savior of the program.
He's the number one player in America. The kid was gonna have some damn pressure no matter what.
No matter where he went.
Was gonna have some pressure no matter what.
No matter where he went. No matter where he, because at FSU they was expecting him to be. They literally was, even if you don't go all the way back to Deion, they was expecting him to be at least at Jalen's level. Jalen came in and started as a freshman, so they was expecting him to at least be at Jalen. Well, I'm sorry, Jalen Ransom.
I'm gonna reply to this comment. Steve, that's not an old one. It's this year was updated October 2021. We're talking about an average, not the high, but an average. I know you're saying they're average 40,000 this year, but
highs this year was 40,000.
So they're averaging 40,000. Well, that's all relative. We can't consider the ones that y'all got free tickets for. We don't count y'all. Okay.
But like you said, to Brooks's point, like you said, he was gonna have pressure no matter where he went. He was gonna have that. So
damn,
we just Renaud. Take a
hey, man. Brooks don't know that,
let me get my FSU hat.
Anyway, first of all, Brooks, once again, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. As you can see, we have some passionate people on here, but I do want to remind everybody on the show, we are looking to have John Garcia tomorrow night. Hopefully get a good full recruiting wrap up, man. So if you got recruiting questions, about who your team signed or didn't sign or the prospect that's still out there, man, make sure you tune back in tomorrow night. We're going to have a complete breakdown. Y'all know how we always do it when it comes to that, man. And if y'all not following Brooks, man, I don't care if it's on Twitter. I don't care if whatever it is, man, make sure you following the guy, man, because I'm telling you right now, he got a love for it. Just like we got a love for it, and he breaks it down, man. He breaks it down and let them know, and he has a loyal following, and y'all will be – it doesn't matter what team you cheer for. Jackson State, it don't matter whoever. He's going to be breaking down everybody and everything, so make sure y'all do that.
Spent a lot of time in Mississippi in my day.
Why you got your hat on?
Well, I said I'm gonna go get the FSU hat because they just sent us home. So
hey, life advice. Your hair looks way too damn good to put a hat on. Take that thing off.
Take my hat back out.
Yeah,
take my hat back out. Take my hat back off.
Close the show, Renard, and make sure you tell them how to follow you one more time. What's the
Yes, sir.
podcast name? What are the platforms I can find this on, Renard, please?
You can find us, you can Down South Football Podcast. You can find us on Apple. You can find us on Spotify. But we need for you to like and subscribe on YouTube. We have a contest coming up for YouTube. Also, the Bowl Mania contest is about to start. You're going to see promotion coming for this probably tomorrow. It's going to be a $10 buy-in. We're going to have a first place and a second place, man. Please come win this money. And please don't forget about the DSF contest between Dave and Ben.
That's right. The side bet between Dave and his mic.
Hey. Don't make me. Let me finish this. You get your chance. You get your chance. December 17th through 24th. Okay. They have to break the tie. To break the tie.
Put y'all picks in.
Going on. So
they didn't put y'all picks. They didn't put their picks.
Well,
they haven't gotten the games yet. I haven't picked the 10 game. I'm picking 10 games between the 17th and 24th. Yeah, picking 10 that they're gonna do. But for the Bowl Mania contest, if you want to win some money, make sure it's gonna be a $10 entry fee, man. And you're gonna see a lot of promotion of that coming at. So make sure y'all follow us, like and subscribe on YouTube so we can bring y'all more content. And we appreciate y'all, man. And we about to end the show.
Hey, Renard, don't end it yet. So first of all, I got little Dave in the building, man. He just made it home from college.
What do you got?
What up, sir?
We got the college player in the building. What's up, dog?
Hey, that ain't Lil Dave. I think he might take Big Dave.
yeah. Hey, Brooks, I'm with you, bro.
That's first thing. And second of all, Ben is not gonna beat me in this contest. I
got another drink that says I'm gonna beat you because we got Crown Royal on the line, so you already know what's happening.
Yes, that's great.
Crown Royal, if y'all want to promote us, anytime.
Hey, that's $290 if I seen it. That's a good looking $290.
Hey, you know what?
Another made it for me, and then she gonna tell me, she was like, I think I might have made this one a little strong. I said it's okay.
Hey, Brooks, there is a great looking 215, man, coming down here.
One cut running back, but he just knock the socks off.
215 coming down here.
Thick 215. Them Bama boys.
That's one reason why Liz Wilson is the defending national champion. I mean, they didn't go this year. They lost in the semis, by the way. So, shout out to Coach O. Coach O was the head coach of Lindsey Wilson College for first 12 seasons, Dave? 13 seasons. He built that program from ground up. So, shouts out to him. He left and went to Georgetown, and so defensive coordinator is the official head coach. So, it's just gonna keep rolling, man, and then. This guy here is gonna compete for the starting job next year. So, and we're gonna go get it. We know we do. Ben, you know what we do, right? You know what we do. We gonna get this money.
We got this, man. We're gonna promote Little Dave. Little Dave.
Go in the show. Can I get a bit of life advice to Lil Dave?
Yeah.
Hey, spend a lot of time in your offensive line meeting room. A bunch of it. Your cuts become a lot easier if you know what the people in front of you are doing. Study it, live it, breathe it.
There it is. Makes sense too.
Made no sense. That's it. Ain't no more jewels we can drop.
All y'all people that's new to us, bro. I see some of y'all here. Ain't see y'all before. Like I said, like and subscribe on YouTube. We got playoff stuff coming up. Brooks got a lot of playoff stuff coming up, man. It's about to be really, really good. And go watch. We talking all this HBCU. We have not said nothing about the Celebration Bowl this Saturday, bro. Go watch it. If you don't have nothing else to do, go watch it.
Hey, what TV channel is it on? See, this is what we got to do. Where's it at? How do I find it?
I want to say ESPN2.
It is ESPN2.
ESPN2.
Good deal.
And another thing that Brooks brought up, because Ben said that's a good point. Another good point Brooks brought up tonight, was you can't take nobody for granted. All right, so we can end the show now.
Look, man,
No, I'm killing that. We'll have Brooks back on. We got to get him close to the
playoffs before the playoffs.
we learned so much.
Y'all killing me tonight, man. But the promotions are coming. Bowl Mania. I'm sorry, Steven. You're right. 12 noon ABC. 12 noon ABC. Thank you. Steven, make sure you like, subscribe, man. We appreciate you, dog. We appreciate everybody coming, man. We see y'all contests coming. So we look out for your promotions tomorrow. We out, man. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.